My name is Luciana Renault. I am an AI ML engineer, and yesterday, April 14, 2025, OpenAI launched the GPT-4.1 model with the promise that it is smarter than the 4.0, especially in programming tasks. However, it's only accessible through the API, and no problem, I created a front end so we can test, benchmark, and make use of these capabilities. Here I have a prompt that I utilize for benchmarking models. You're going to see the same prompt I use in this article I wrote about running small language models on consumer hardware. And I did the inference with the very same prompt to the GPT-01 Pro mode. Don't mind this, I'm not signing Pro mode anymore. But here you can see that the inference was done with the 01 Pro mode, and it gave this very smart, interesting answer for this prompt asking about building effective RAG applications using Python. I asked the 4.1 the very same prompt, and it gave me a nice architecture. And then I asked it to compare its own answer with the answer that came from the Pro mode, and it evaluated that its own answer is superior. Here's the verdict: my modularized solution is the best foundation. I said, interesting. Let's try with an arbiter. Let's try with a third party to evaluate if this 4.1 is actually right, and even considering itself superior than the Pro mode, which costs $200 a month if you're not an API user. And to be an API user, you have to be in tier 4 or 5, I believe the last tier here. So it's not the case of most of us. We have to pay $200 if you want to use the smartest model. And I asked Grok to help us decide which one is smarter after all. And I asked it if this exchange makes sense, and I pasted all the exchange I did with the 4.1 model. And is the chatbot correct? Because it's naming itself chatbot. Here it's a chainlet attribute, as you can see. And Grok does a long rationalization, but in the end, it concludes that the chatbot's response is accurate, well-reasoned, and aligns with best practices for modern RAG systems, which is amazing news because it is so affordable. And now we have decent model to work with. And I'm going to publish this on my GitHub with an MIT license, so all of you can use the code, plug in your own keys in the .env in your local machines, and be happy using the 4.1 model through the API, and happy coding!